And good morning, everybody. And it is Wonderful Wednesday with Jenna Hatch. Now, I only met Jenna on Friday before this, and we had a conversation, and I found her so fascinating because she introduced me to things like Trello and Fathom, things I didn't even know existed. Because Jenna, you have started up a company to help people find a VA. What a godsend to people like me. Because it's that kind of nitty gritty work that just takes so long, and you help people find the right one. So Jenna, please tell our audience exactly. So a lot of the stuff that you told me, what do you do? Tell us how you do that.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Claudia, so much for allowing me to come on your channel and speak. I think you are absolutely incredible as well. And I'm always really appreciative to get connected with other like-minded individuals. But to kind of dive right in essence, like hiring a virtual assistant is not just about like delegating tasks. I really want people to think about it's more so empowering yourself to be able to reach greater heights within your business, because not only are you tapping into all of what makes you really great and really special, but now you have somebody kind of alongside in this journey with you. So you're really able to tap into their expertise as well. And, you know, what I've come to find is there are two different types of people in the world. There's a whole bunch of types, but when it comes to like, you know, starting up your business and whatnot, there's the visionary and there's the implementer. And quite often we have these ideas and we have the vision of where we want our business to go, but it's about how do we get it done? Now, of course, I personally have a virtual assistant. Her name is Carmela. And it has just been a complete game changer when trying to get my business up off the ground. It's, you know, again, I've got these ideas in my head, and how do I make that into reality? Mm-hmm. And so what we had kind of talked about a little bit on Friday was the fact that there are a bunch of different tools out there, free tools that can really jumpstart your journey prior to getting yourself a VA. But again, having that virtual assistant just, I would say, is the catalyst, right? It basically just accelerates the whole process. And some of those tools that we were talking about were Trello. Trello is a free CRM, customer relationship management system. I love Trello because it basically allows you to get thoughts out of your head and onto paper, right? We don't have to do anything with this information just yet, but it's a great way to have a visual, right? And actually see almost like the fruits of your brain labor out on paper.
So can I ask you a question there? With Trello, can you actually speak into it, or do you have to type it?
You know, that's a great question. And I don't know the answer to that. I know there's a lot of like, you know, talk to text with Google Voice and whatnot. I have not used, I'm a firm believer in like that whole, you know, honesty policy. And if I don't know something, I'm going to go research it, right? Yeah. So put a pin in that and I'll get back to you.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. And put the answer in the link here.
Absolutely.
Because I'm old and I'm a one finger typer. This is so embarrassing. And my daughter looks at me because I know what I bet you do that.
I do. Yep. But I got to say too, I think, and I've had a conversation about this recently, not the voice memos. I don't know if you know on your phone, they have like the ability to do a voice memo where somebody
I use that all the time because I do recordings for clients.
Yeah. I prefer to do the voice to text, where like if I'm just talking, I can see it text out. But so I think that's kind of along the lines of like that voice to text. Maybe Trello has it. I hope they do. That would be smart. But what I would love to add to that is if that is something that you would prefer to do, just kind of like speak it into existence, that is another reason to have a virtual assistant. It is quite easy to, just like you would shoot a text to a friend, right? Yeah. It's quite easy to just talk into your phone. Hey, Claudia, I want to make sure that we get this done today. Send. And then your virtual assistant can even go onto your Trello board and update it as need be.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yep. So if I wanted, like, say some things done on my YouTube channel, because I've got to put descriptions on there, and I know I've got to, and I haven't done it. And I've got my mentor saying, I've shown you how to do it. Are you doing it? And I've gone, no. And it's like, it'll take too long. So this is what the VA would do.
Yeah. And I think the really great thing about, so my company is called Project Outsource. I think the really great thing about Project Outsource in general is we do have a bit of a higher price point than other virtual assistant companies, but that is because it's one of those things where I can't remember the saying. It's fast, cheap, easy. You can only pick two, right? I can't remember like that saying. But when it comes to Project Outsource, we are really invested in finding quality virtual assistants. And more so than that, executive virtual assistants. So there is a difference between your general virtual assistant and your executive virtual assistant.
Yeah, there is a difference. I know there's a difference.
Huge difference. And we're talking like someone that can just do administrative tasks versus someone who comes into your business and really gets you. If you're at zero and you don't know how to get over that first hump, that is what an EVA does. They are the person who has the widest skill set between social media management, digital marketing, admin tasks, data entry, research capabilities. And so this person truly should be like your right-hand man or woman, the person that you put the most amount of trust into, because they are there to help you build your business. And so, yeah, that's kind of what makes us different, is the fact that we are focusing heavily on that executive virtual assistant, because I've seen it over and over. I mean, Claudia, how many times have you spoken to someone and you're like, oh, can I get a link to your website? And they say, oh, I have a website, but don't look at it yet.
Yeah.
A lot, right? A lot of times that happens. And I know that I was an offender of that prior to my VA. And so, these are people who are well connected in their community, that are very resourceful. And it's not, I've heard it a lot where people say, oh, I've had a VA in the past and it just didn't work out because of X, Y, and Z. A lot of times it's communication, right? Sometimes it's a cultural difference. And that is something that, again, we pride ourselves on, is kind of setting the expectations ahead of time. We want to bring people onto staff that are more vocal, that are more confident, that are more resourceful, and ultimately are that, I don't want to necessarily say intrinsically motivated. You have to be, right? But I'm looking more as the people who, they're going to add value overall. They're not just going to come into work and check the boxes. They're going to see what else they can do.
Okay, so they think outside the box for you.
Correct.
And actually think of things that you might want before you even think of them.
Like literally, which is kind of a crazy thing. But as you know, as me and my VA are going over and we're creating lists of things that need to get done, I'm telling her, let's walk through the client journey. Let's, if we're at a discovery call, if we're at the recruitment process, if we're at the onboarding. And as we're trying to lay out, this was, in the beginning, as we're trying to lay out what those look like, I would come back the next day to, oh, hey, I made this pitch deck, this slide deck for you for your strategy call. And I was like, I didn't ask you to do that, but oh my God, like that just ticks off the future box, and so it's somebody who sees maybe a little bit further than your immediate, like, I got to get this done, this done, this done. They see a little bit further than you, because sometimes we have those blinders on.
Yeah. Okay. I love that, because sometimes and I think I said this to you, I would just like another me.
Yeah.
Who knows, but a me who can do all the technical stuff.
Exactly. And that's you brought up a really great point, which is a lot of times when someone is hesitant to hire a virtual assistant because this is your baby and nobody treats your baby like you. Right. So I want to make this super clear in the fact that, like, having a virtual assistant is not a set it and forget it. I like to say, if you have something that's in your brain that you can't extract, what makes you think somebody else is going to be able to extract it for you? Right? It is definitely a teamwork makes the dream work. You want to be heavily involved within the first 1-2 weeks, really, where we're learning the ropes. It's just like anyone that started a new business, right? You're not going to throw somebody into into a restaurant waitressing day one and say, okay, go.
Yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah,
like we need to
we
be
can't expect
and what is our mission? What is our vision? What are our values? But further than that, they need to get to know you, because if they're going to be your social media manager, or if they're going to be replying to emails on your behalf, they have to know who you are as a person, how you operate, and how you would respond to some of these things.
Yeah, I love that. As I said, I was going to say, we can't expect them to be mind readers. So it's about that collaboration, first of all, so that they can really get to understand who you are and
Yes.
what and your vision and mission is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and that makes sense. I get that. That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
And I just remember like you talking when we spoke, last week, you're like, I remember my exact words to you were, everything that you're saying makes you my ideal client right now, right? Which is, I have all these videos that need to be cut. I've got, like conferences to attend, and I need to host this and talk to this, but I still have clients that I need to see. And like, who's going to post on my social media regularly? And, the fact of the matter is, we usually get very overwhelmed with these things, don't know where to start, don't know what comes next. And sometimes having that virtual assistant really just calms your mind down. Also, I know in the past I have said to my VA, all right, these are the things we have to get done. And she goes, okay, I'm here to help. Now, Jenna, I need you to prioritize these things. Otherwise, we're never going to get them done. And I'm like, you know what? It's so much more of, like I said, like an accountability partner than you think. And this is someone that is going to be affordable to you, right? Because I know, let me touch on that really quick. This is my favorite thing in the world, which is, as entrepreneurs, especially in that startup phase, I call it like the chicken and egg theory, right? I need money to be able to build my business, to grab more clients. But in order to do that, I need clients that I have money to do all of those things, right? And so it's the chicken and the egg. Hiring a virtual assistant, it's going to be more cost effective. And again, especially the executive virtual assistant, you're basically going to have the videographer, like maybe like the photo editor, the video editor, the social media manager, the admin person. Like, you're getting this person that's able to check multiple boxes, because of course we want to be able to hire all those people for our business, but it's just not doable at this point in time. Right. And so, to be honest, my grand vision, because I've had the question posed at me before, hey, Jenna, shouldn't we be keeping jobs in the US? Absolutely. I absolutely believe we should keep jobs in the US. My thought process is, I'm not ready to hire somebody here in the US. Are you, Claudia? Are you ready to hire an assistant over here? I'm not at that point yet, right? And so my vision is to be able to provide this resource to your startups, to your entrepreneurs, to be able to get you over that first hump. Then we start seeing the revenue come in. And then as you're growing and scaling, you are now in a place where you can start creating jobs in the US. So my vision is a full circle moment where we're starting it here and we're envisioning a better life for, the US, Americans in general. But everybody needs help, right? We all need a little bit of help sometimes. And I feel this is a really great alternative to be able to get those boxes checked in the meantime.
Yeah. I do have a friend. She's actually, I know a few VAs, and however, they're always really busy already.
Yeah.
So, and I suppose it's because people do want to work with somebody who they see and visually see. So those are really good for those people. And of course, if you can actually, as you say, afford them. However, as I say, I still like, it's my baby. I want to do it all. However, I just know that because I'm not very good at the technology bit, or it just takes so much time, then I just keep pushing it back and pushing
it back. Right. And you know what, I don't think that also, we will get over some of those things when the correct expectations are set. Right. And so it really is about communication and expectation when having a virtual assistant. I tell people all the time, they're like, oh yeah, this sounds really great. Let's dive right in. And I'm like, I would much rather you be in a space where you have processes in place, and it doesn't have to be SOPs, right? It doesn't have to be your standard operating procedures that you have fully documented. But I want to make sure that you, like, for example, when you're plugging a new contact, let's say you got a new lead and you're plugging it into your CRM, there's usually a specific way on how you want that done. There's usually certain pieces of information that you want to make sure you capture, right? Without question, name, phone number, email address. Maybe you want their website on top of that. Maybe you want their LinkedIn profile. Another really great way and free way to accomplish this is to use something called Loom, which is Zoom with an L, Loom.
What's that?
It is basically a screen recorder, but you can record your voice over it. So if you were plugging in a new contact into HubSpot, let's say, you can literally click. HubSpot is a CRM as well. There's so many of them out there, and you really just have to like trial and error and see which one fits you. I can give you a whole list. But let's say, so HubSpot is a CRM. Let's say you're putting a new contact in, and you want the person to repeat this process over and over. You can download Loom, click record, and say, okay, Claudia, this is how I want you to plug in a contact. You're going to start by clicking this button here. It's going to open up. I just need to make sure you fill in name, phone number, email address, company website, press save, and make sure that it's uploaded over here. And the recording. And now what you're doing is you're creating this online digital library of training for someone who is about to come into your business. Like what that does for you is no matter if there's a new virtual assistant that comes in, because I would love to throw the disclaimer in there. It doesn't matter where you hire, right? It doesn't matter if you hire in the US, in the Philippines, in Australia, in England, like anywhere. People will be people at the end of the day, right? And so maybe your first hire doesn't work out. It happens, okay, right? But with what you're setting yourself up for is success and not having to double back every single time you bring somebody into your business. You know, as you're growing a team now, you've already created that Loom video way back when of how you want contacts put into your CRM. So when you bring somebody new on, you say, hey, Jenna, go watch these videos.
Oh, and is Loom a free app as well?
Yep. I think there's always like, you know, your limits with all of these. So Loom, I think you can maybe up to 20 videos a month free. Wow. And then I think, you know, after a certain time, it's like down to 5 or something like that. Don't hold me to it. Because I work with a lot of different softwares and platforms, and sometimes I get my lines crossed.
Oh my gosh. You see, that's the kind of thing where it just like blows my mind. And I'm like,
out there.
That's
there's a lot out there, a lot. But a lot that, I mean, there's Brevo, which is a free, and I would love your people to know about Brevo is a free email automation, like, you know, your campaigns. Okay. That is a free platform to be able to send out email automations. LastPass, that's another favorite of mine. That is actually what I use with my VA. LastPass allows my VA to log in to my email or my calendar or my LinkedIn as if they were me. But the best part, like I'm not sharing my actual email address or password. In the case that if things ever were to go south, I can revoke access and no one has to be in there anymore, you know? And so this allows people to go in, do the work for you as you, but it also protects you from someone taking your password or your identity and whatnot, because also
I'm telling you, Jenna, I mean, it completely blows my mind that you know so much about all of this. And so you're going to give me your links, aren't you, so that people can get in touch with you to find out even more. And then I think you said to me that you set up conversations with some VAs and them so that they can see who somebody might connect with.
Yes. So I guess in a nutshell, just to let everybody know what our process is we have a discovery call, a strategy session, right? I learn about your business, where our struggles currently are. And then what we do is I work with the recruitment team. We come up with your must-haves in a person, your nice-to-haves. We go over the tech stack that you're currently using. And then we are sourcing for people that check the most amount of boxes for you. It could be very different. I had a client at one point that thought her number one thing was making sure that somebody had experience in a certain CRM. And she ended up picking the one person that checked every other box except the CRM box, because at the end of the day, that something like that can be learned. We can go through a training. So it's always about figuring out what's most important to you. But we will recruit. We will have you interview these people, because ultimately I love to see the magic. I call it the magic, where I bring this person onto Zoom, you guys start talking, and suddenly we're, half hour later, I'm like, okay, Claudia, I got to wrap this one up. And you're like, no, don't go. Right. Like, this is your person. Like, you can tell, like, you had that connection.
Yeah.
And then we onboard them, and that is it. That is the process. It's literally a 3-step process of strategy call, interview, onboard. Very easy.
Brilliant. Brilliant. So honestly, I could talk to you forever about this, because I do find it fascinating, and obviously I know you're going to help me. I've just got to sort out my YouTube stuff.
Yeah, there's always something.
So thank you, thank you for coming on here, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. So it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
me, Jenna Hatch. Thanks, everyone.
Take care, everybody. Bye.